Welcome to WTF Radio, where we discuss what the freak is wrong with this world. Today, we'll be discussing air pollution. The pollutants of concern are cadmium, lead, furans, polycyclic organic matter, pesticides, and nitrogen compounds. Nitrogen compounds intensify nutrient enrichment of coastal water bodies. EPA's most recent report, issued in 2000, provides an update on atmospheric deposition of pollutants to the Great Waters and identifies activities that will reduce these pollutants. Municipal waste combustors and medical waste incinerators account for almost 30% of the mercury emissions and over 70% of the dioxin emissions nationwide. The largest emitter of mercury is electric utility plants, which are estimated to emit approximately 1/3 of all man-made mercury in the United States. Scientists estimate that millions of tons of toxic pollutants are released into the air each year. Most air toxics originate from man-made sources, including both mobile sources like cars, buses, and trucks, and stationary sources like factories, refineries, and power plants. Philly, Pittsburgh, and Los Angeles are among the top 10 most polluted cities. Studies show that air pollution greatly affects your health. People who have never smoked but who live in areas with higher air pollution levels are roughly 20% more likely to die from lung cancer than people who live with cleaner air. A pollutant such as sulfur dioxide causes the constriction of smaller airways in the lungs and makes breathing harder for even healthy people. With someone prone to asthma attacks, this constriction can set off a serious and even life-threatening attack. In fact, asthma attacks set off by pollutants are one of the largest causes of air pollution related to death in Europe and in North America. You know, air pollution is such a big problem. We need to do something about this. I think we need to do something about the cars first, though. Since they account for 50% of air pollution, cars just need to go. This is 50% of pollution gone right there. We will still have transportation, of course. We can do it like Freddie Flintstone. We can have Flintstone cars, and that way we get some exercise too. One problem solved. Now, electric utility plants cause a dilemma too. They just gotta go. We can just get rid of all power plants while we're at it. There, now all pollution sources are eliminated. But don't fret, we will still be able to live without them. Cavemen did it, and so can we. We can go back to the hunting and gathering days for food, instead of depending on processed food. We can make all our own clothes and all our supplies. By getting rid of factories that make up all these harmful things, we won't need to use coal, gas, or electrical power. No harmful emissions will be released. It will be like the caveman days, pre-industrialized and no pollution. Perfect! These sound pretty good, don't you think? Let's take some calls and see what our listeners think. Would you say that air pollution has affected you at all throughout your life?
Actually, well, most people don't realize it, but polluted air can be especially harmful for people with asthma. We used to live in Los Angeles, but we recently had to move here because our newborn baby has asthma and she had difficulty breathing and also had some multiple asthma attacks due to the toxins in the air.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we had another child in kindergarten who was just making friends and getting used to things, but we had to pack up our stuff and move due to the air pollution. So yeah, it's definitely affected our family greatly.
Do you have any ideas on how we could fix this urgent issue?
Well, I guess we could try putting government funding toward developing more efficient hybrid cars, or it might also work to set legal standards for how many pollutants companies' factories are allowed to emit into the air per year.
I guess if you think that would actually work. All right, next caller. Would you say that air pollution has affected you in your daily life?
Yeah, definitely. I work for a fish hatchery, and air pollution has a huge problem for us. What happens is when the air pollution mixes with the water vapor in the air, it condenses and falls down to the earth in the form of rain. This contaminates the water that the fish live in. This then makes the fish sick and often causes them to die. This has been not only a big environmental problem, but with less fish, it then hurts us a lot economically.
How do you think we could fix this issue?
Maybe the government could start rewarding companies for becoming more eco-friendly and reducing their carbon footprint through things such as tax deductibles. And society could put more of a focus on finding different sources of energy and fuel that would produce less emissions so that the air would be safer and the water would be safer for the aquatic creatures.
Well, that's an interesting take. All right, well, that's all we have time for today. Thanks for listening. Tune in next time when we discuss teen pregnancy.